Erdizzle back with an early rendering of the daily ending on July 10th. And we're going to try to put this one out early, see if people can take a shot at the score. So my bag starting off for this one's my usual, the Fuse River Musket All Accurate Windbreak, my Windbreak Glide Recoil, and then my two ballistas, the Light Glide and the Light Skip. I always start off with those 6 when I'm starting because I never know what kind of holes I'm going to get hit with. So it looks like we're starting off on Oak Hill, which means it's probably going to be a lot of par 4s. So I'm going to take the wide route here, which I normally won't do in a multiplayer or pro tour round just because I worry about hitting a tree and going OB. So I got within 75. You can usually get pretty close on this one. And taking the wide left route with the sidearm, I'm usually 100 to 120 out, but there's no fear of going OB. So that was pretty easy transition to daily tournament. Just take the right route, first hole, and just keep going at it. And so this is actually my first run through, so I haven't seen any of these holes. So hole 2, I just barely make it up there. I didn't even know where I was going to be aiming, but with the tailwind of 2, you got to go for that one. So I've not seen any of these holes. I'm just anticipating par 4s. And then hole 3, this one. Surprisingly, this one used to be really, really easy for me back in like the 803 update and even the 902. But I won't say I've been messing it up a lot, but I've been messing it up more than I used to. So even like this one, I left a little wide, but still a very reasonable shot. I was used to being parked on this one, sometimes with a musket. And so being wide right, I've even had some cut roll in the 902 update all the way into the water. Just not very fun. So happy to get the 3 eagles to start. First time through hole 4. This is, again, if you don't have a windbreak glide recoil, please just get one. Don't complain about this hole if you haven't tried this disc because I still occasionally miss this hole, but it's so much easier. It doesn't matter what the wind is, tailwind, headwind, left, right, the recoil is just money for that. In fact, the only times I really miss this hole are when it slides up way up the hill behind or to the right, and I somehow miss the comeback throw or putt. Hole 5, I'm just going to play my Fuse. You could probably use a river or maybe an Explorer if you throw that in the bag to ace run this hole. In fact, if I run through this again, I might try that, but there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and so it's better just to take your birdie and get out of there. All right, so this one, the shelf hole, really got to get this one. This is one of the, I won't call them gimmies, but the ones you really got to get, par 4s on Grizzly. So I put it right where I want it, although 86 is a little too close, so I'm a little worried about getting over the edge there. And so I run it and I just hit it off the top. And again, that's a product of just going a little further than I wanted. Ideally, I'd like to be anywhere in the 100 to 110 range. And so kind of messed that one up, but still a pretty good start. Then hole 7 with the river, I think with that wind of 1, it's just enough. I don't think this will get there, and it did not. So I will probably shift to something else on there. I don't know if I'll throw in maybe an accurate glide river to get there, or I might even switch to my musket and give that a try. Hole 8 is normally an ace run hole, but with a wind of 3, so my aim spot is usually over by the 2, and that one was very risky. So I find this one to be a very difficult ace run with a wind of 3, so I don't know, maybe next time I throw this, I might throw the Explorer in, and I don't know. So I think someone had already posted in 18 on this, so I needed to ace this hole to tie them. And so I threw my river on the sidearm and just nailed it. A lot of times I'll go long on that, and sometimes I'll even bogey it. So I was extremely happy to come up with a clutch ace on hole 9. So as it stood right there, I was tied for first place with an 18. And so I decided to make some changes the next run through. So immediately after that round, I changed it up a little bit. And the bag is exactly the same, except I threw in an accurate windbreak Explorer. I find that one to be an easier ace run on the 9th hole. Even though I aced hole 9 with a river, that's not usually a consistent ace disc for me on that. And so everything else, the musket, the recoil, and the 2 ballistas is all the same. Now, these are not back-to-back runs. That first run you just saw was my very first run through it. This one, I'd say I played for about half an hour, trying some different things and some different shots. So this is that run. And I always record, so if I throw a good round, I keep it. If not, I just delete it. And so hole 1, played that same wide right route and was able to get the 2. And this one, I toyed around with it a lot, and I'll show you, if you stick around after this round, I have some bonus coverage of some cool shots, or at least one extra cool shot I got. And so I'm just barely clearing this, but honestly, I don't care. As long as I'm across, I really don't care. So 48 feet is in putt range. As long as I get my 2, I don't need it to skip up there, parked, or do something crazy. It's just, it is what it is. Give me the 2, and I'm done. So this one, hole 3, I made some adjustments where I started aiming a little lower and a little left. And most of my shots were working out pretty well. This one kind of leaked a little to the right. In that half hour, though, where I was trying some of these, so 72 feet, I hate that range. Hate it. Because it's outside of putt range, and it's just on the cusp of that kind of tricky throw-in range where you don't want to go too hard. But no, most of my other shots on that hole 3 were much closer than that, so that one just kind of leaked out a little bit. And hole 4, again, I said I normally don't mess this one up, but that is the worst shot I usually have on this hole. Other than way, way, way back up in the right corner, which I don't normally do. And that was just a little careless mistake right there. I was getting a little complacent and wasn't paying attention, but it worked out all right. So this one I did start messing around. I actually started throwing the Explorer, trying to ace run, and I never actually hit it. I didn't really try it a ton, but I threw it like 10, 12 times, and I thought it was a reasonable run, and the times I was missing, it was not sliding behind anything or OB, so I thought I'd give it a try. So first round, hole 6, I actually messed this one up, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't screw this one up. Again, my ideal range is anything 100 to 110. And so there it is right here, 106. I feel very comfortable in this range with a fuse. And so the other one I was 86 or 89, and I hit the top. I'm just much more comfortable in that 100 or plus range. So now to beat this, I do need an ace somewhere in here. So my goal now is I've got the 4 eagles. I want to ace either 7, 8, or 9. And so I did start switching to the musket, and as soon as I let go of that one, I thought it was going to be great, and I hit it. So now I've got a dilemma. As it is right now, if I go birdie, I've got a 17, which will put me in first place. But I really want to run these. This one I just did not feel comfortable running, so I played the Explorer in a very, very safe shot and laid it up there. And so now I really debated. As soon as I'm putting this out, I'm really thinking on hole 9. Do I lay it up or do I run it? And I don't know. Just playing this enough, you got to go for it. You never know when the opportunities are going to present themselves. So I absolutely 100% went for this one, and I thought it had a shot midair, and it was a little low, and I really worried about the kick, but it stopped short of that bush. And so 49 feet, even on the elevated basket, that's a putt for me. So I was really happy that I was able to ace run it and not go long, because I would have been really annoyed if that went long or OB. And so I was very happy with that. So that puts me in first place. I mean, with like 21 hours to go. So someone will probably tie me on that one. But I was pretty happy with the round. So a little bonus coverage here. During that half hour, I was running through these. So there you see the current leaderboard. And yes, that's my name, DZ for Dizzle. I was just screwing around with that. But someone will tie that and maybe even beat it. But during that half hour between these 2 rounds, I was messing around, and I had a couple cool shots. One of them was a nice throw-in on that shelf hole, and a couple other nice ones on the par 4s. But this was probably the best one, and I couldn't repeat it, not in that half hour. So this is just hole 2, and I was able to throw. I basically threw the same shot I had been throwing on the first round all the way to that round you guys saw, and it just hit on the front side and ended up going in. So I have aced that one before, but that's a pretty cool one to go out on. So hopefully you guys enjoy the bonus coverage. And again, I'm putting this one out a little early so you guys can take a run at it and see if some of the lines I use and some of the discs I use help you out. So good luck, and I will see you guys on the next run.